my thoughts were like, oh, Canada is too cold, but people are friendly, everybody's nice, there are people from all over the world.
The first thought, I think it's quite cold and big, you know. Like when I was in quarantine for 14 days and all I saw from the windows of the hotel is lands and, you know, far away kilometers.
This is like the biggest problem I have. Once I light up my cigarette, every Canadian I know just stays away from me, doesn't really want to talk to me. And this is really weird since in Serbia, I think 80 to 90% of people smoke, even inside.
It's like a carnival season, so like there are a lot of parties going on like in the streets. There are like parades and people just go out to have some fun.
We don't have maple syrup for breakfast.
Mexican culture is way more intense and we are more close with our families and with our siblings and stuff. And here everyone's like very independent, like they have very individual lives.
I don't know because I didn't have like much experience in this area. But yeah, I feel like in Brazil people are more outgoing.
I feel like flirting in Canada is weird.
I haven't dated any Canadian guy. I would definitely say that here it's less of a big deal. Like it's more chill. Like they just like they assume they hang like they're like together by like after a while of hanging out and talking. And back in Mexico, it's not really like that.
But you still ask like, you want to be my girlfriend? I don't know what happened here because I don't know if Canadian like me.
Oh man, that's definitely something I have an extensive amount of research in. It's both the most simple thing ever, but also the most complicated, where it seems people can just, you know, go off at a party, hang out for a bit, and all of a sudden they're together. Or sometimes it's a weird, like, multi-month-long cat and mouse game where I think some people are just real awkward about it, and it's just kind of like dead water. But I'd say the most notable thing is in Canada, I feel like you get a lot of couples where you don't really get why they're together. Like they seem happy, but you're just like, you are two completely different people. It just doesn't make sense sometimes.
I used to eat my dinner like at night, like almost 11 p.m. When you guys are eating your dinner, I'm probably eating my lunch because I usually eat like around 5 or 5:30, like my first meal of the day.
Well, I don't eat breakfast because I'm a film student. I don't have time for breakfast. I would just wake up and go to the studio. It's definitely weird. 5:30 dinner, that's my lunch at Serbia for sure.
We ate at like 3 or 4, like all together, and then dinner was around 8 or 9.
I love like a 5:30 to 6 dinner, because then, you know, you have your dinner, but then you got the rest of the night ahead of you. I think it's nice. I like a good early dinner.
I find the coffee in there, it tastes kind of mild compared to what I have back home. I never actually had a coffee in Tim Hortons, but I know Tim Hortons, he's an ice hockey player, right?
It's like very commercialized, I feel. But it's not that bad. And yeah, I do know what a double-double is.
I think the only thing I know in Tim Hortons is a double-double. Every time I ask for a coffee, they just tell me, double-double? I say yes.
I eat Tim Hortons. It's kind of like just like standard as a Canadian, you kind of just have to go have it. But ever since I got bought out by Burger King, it's been kind of garbage, but it's just so like classic that like it's second nature. It's just like everyone's like, yeah, I guess we'll go to Tim's.
Here it's like everything is like the maple tree and maple syrup, and like I know that there is probably a story behind it, but I never actually searched for it, so it is just kind of strange, like everything here is just like maple, and I don't even like maple syrup.
Hockey. There's a lot of hockey going on, and baseball, and all these sports I never got the chance to play, and people are so in love with these sports.
Their definition of dancing in a party is like very different of our definition of dancing.
Give me a sec to think about that, because I have to think of what Canadian culture entails. Canada's culture is so just kind of normal that I can't really like, there's nothing bad about it because there's also nothing like, whoa, this is good. It's just like, yeah, it exists.
No, I think like the thing that I most miss from my country, it's the food, like 100% sure, because I feel like I'm not eating very well here.
I hate the food here. It's so much sugar, it's so much more fat than usual, more salty, and there's a lot of it, and it's very expensive.
The only dish I've tried, like Canadian, has been poutine, but I would never, ever, ever dare to say it's better than Mexican food. For me, Mexican cuisine is the best there is, period.
No, sorry. But I don't like, fried food, If they can fry chicken burgers or others food very oily, salty. Take me a while to kind of adapt to the food in Canada.
I like the food here because the food here is food from everywhere else done here. Like there's staple Canadian foods, but they're more gimmick foods. Especially when you're in Toronto though, is you kind of get the best of like all over the world. We got a lot of desserts. We got like beaver tails, which is just like a pastry with whatever you want on it. You can get like Nanaimo bars. Those are from Vancouver, and it's just like this weird like multi-layer, almost like a cold brownie. That's Canadian. And then I guess maple syrup. That's our big thing. I love maple syrup.
The housing and all the expenditures that I have probably in Brazil would be cheaper, but again, people win in 1 hour here what I would win like working a whole day in Brazil. So I think it's just like a balance.
I don't know. I've been asking myself this question for 2 years. If it's worth it, I don't know. It's definitely not worth it to pay $15 for a meal. Where, back in my country, if a meal costs $15, that's for the whole family.
It's very, very expensive here. In Mexico, you could get like a very nice house for not even what we pay here. I would definitely say that what's worth it is that here it's 10 times more secure. And like you feel more freedom, like walking around and stuff.
I think if I cook, it would be worth it, If I cook, I save tons of money. But if I eat outside, it's not worth it. It's very expensive. I think it's kind of trade-off because I live in a better place where the environment is cleaner, the air's clean and.
Toronto sure is. You come to this city, you're going to be paying like millions of dollars for a home that was made 2 days ago out of styrofoam. If you get out of Toronto, I'd say it's almost entirely worth it. Toronto, it's a lot more of like a gamble of like, do you need to live in the city? If you do, I definitely can say it's worth it.
That's weird. Milk in a bag is the weirdest thing, and I just realized, I just found out that's a thing 2 weeks ago. I was in my friend's house, and I opened the fridge, and I saw like a bag. I take the bag, some liquid inside. I'm like, what is this? It's just milk pouring over left to right. Put the milk back inside, and never thought about it again.
Bro, I had the worst time with bagged milk when I got here. I swear for over a month, I thought in my house they didn't drink milk at all because I couldn't find milk anywhere. And no one told me about bagged milk until one day I found a bag that had like a white liquid on it. And I was like, what is this? And they told me it was milk. So it was very shocking. I don't like the fact that it's on a bag.
What is that? I don't know. I saw it in No Thrill like many times, but I thought it's like how to say it, milk for babies,
I love it. I don't know why we have it in a bag. I think it's the funniest thing ever. It's super inconvenient because the bag can break in the holder sometimes. I feel like it's constantly going bad and there's like no way of telling. I'll sometimes drink a whole glass of milk and I'm like, well, that was bad milk, and I've already drinking the glass. And they're so fun to just play with.
Okay.
I feel like in my country, in my culture, we have like we are more open to like exchange with new people. I feel like maybe making friends and this kind of social cues, it's like easier, you know.
The social cues are, what's the word? Non-existent. I cannot seem to connect deeply with another Canadian.
They're very like nice and very polite, yes, but they don't really engage in conversation, you know? Like when you see your neighbors and stuff, they're just like, hi, have a good day. That's it. You never engage. And back in Mexico, I remember I can spend like half an hour talking to my neighbors just on groceries.
Thank you is alright, but sorry, definitely a lot. Like almost every conversation you have to say sorry once, I guess.
I guess we're polite to strangers, but I wouldn't say I'm polite to anyone I actually know.
Are Canadians boring and too polite? Yes.
I mean, it depends on who Canadian you talk with. I mean, I have a good time with Canadian here, you know. Other Canadian, probably they play too much video games at home and watch YouTube, so.
People who are just Canadian, yeah, if you go to like up in Aurelia, those Canadians are the most boring people you'll ever meet. But if you get closer to like cities and such, it gets exciting. If you go out west, it gets racist. I definitely understand why people would think Canadians are boring.
We have this saying in Portuguese, there's like, you can take your horse out of the rain. It's like, in Portuguese, it's like, você pode tirar o cavalinho da chuva. And it means like, you think you can do this, but you cannot. You can like draw your expectation. It's this meaning almost. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense here.
I mean, we call washroom WC? Yeah, WC.
We call washroom, bathroom, that is, we call it WC, which is WC.
What was the name? Pop? Full soda? Like, all those like differences were like too much for me at first. Now I'm getting used to it, but I feel, especially because I speak Spanish and there's not a lot of words in English that can actually relate to what we want to say in Spanish.
It's always kind of fun when you find out what the different regional dialects are, especially when you get someone from England and they're like calling things trousers and just absolutely wild things. I say pop instead of soda much more. Maybe sometimes bathroom, but never restroom, because I'm not resting. Yeah, I don't sleep in there, so I don't rest.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I can say in video. No, I feel like people are like relaxed and everybody has time to do what they want, you know?
They offered me maple syrup and they put it on everything. It was really good.
They're humble, I think.
They might be quiet because, you know, I don't know. But if you actually talk to them, they're nice people.
We're not nationalists with it, which is nice. We don't like particularly like love our country so much we'll kill anyone who doesn't like it. It's just like, yeah, it's cool, come on in, what do you got?
É isso, galera. Vamos pro Hexa. Brasil campeão da Copa do Mundo 2022. No Catar. Brasil.
Mladi smo I živi smo, a možemo da najbolje što možemo.
Like whenever we make a plan with someone in Mexico, we say hello.
Xin chào mọi người, mình tên là Kiên. Chúc mọi người một ngày mới tốt lành.
Toronto slang is the best because it makes no sense. My sister likes to say "nice your beak," which is slang for shut up. You go to Nova Scotia, you can't understand those people. Oh, calling down a Braxton's Row, you got free soap on a rope, and you're like, what are you, this is Canada still?
I never seen this scene in Vietnam at all.
That's why it looks so good.
I mean, can we take for free?
Yes.
I was gonna say, no, es que espera, escucha. No, answer me something. In Mexico, do you kiss the person on the first date?
Bro, don't tell me that. Don't
No,
ask me
that
that.
never happened.
No, it does.
Oh, Canada.